Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. Now, before I even get started, I want to give a happy birthday to my boy, my best friend growing up, Ryan Monk. He used to take me to Michigan games when we were younger, Michigan and Michigan State games. We were close, so we did almost everything together. Just want to shout him out. Also, if you're in the mid Michigan area, Saginaw, Flint, Bay City, Frankenmuth, R.A. Monk Insurance. I'm going to leave the link in the description. If you need insurance, look him up. Now, besides that, I want to get into the Steve Dace thing. Steve Dace got some serious fans. Some of these dudes was mad. They was mad. Like, it is what it is, bro. If you rock with Steve Dace, I ain't got a problem with you. You know what I'm saying? It's just he rubbed me the wrong way with what he did, and it wasn't that he just didn't watch the game. It was that he picked against us against Penn State and Ohio State. Even said, "Get your tickets ready for the Rose Bowl," meaning we would lose the game against Ohio State. So that was my problem with him. But if you rock with him, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? If you watch both of us, that's fine. I still watch some of his content because I like to hear what Mark Rogers has to say about us. But, that video of me fighting him, that was just funny. I'm sorry. That was just funny. But now let's just get into this game, y'all. Let's just get into this. So Michigan will play Georgia, of course. And this video is going to be about the Michigan's offense versus Georgia's defense, and then I'll make the other. So Georgia's defense is, everybody knows they've got one of the top rushing defenses. That's their claim to fame. They're giving up 9 points a game, which I think is number one. 172 passing yards, 81 rushing yards a game they're giving up. So they got all the stats and stuff to back it up pretty much. Now, we just saw them get exposed by Bama. So, I know some of us are like, okay, those numbers don't mean as much as they should. But, so with that being said, Georgia's defense they haven't really played many good teams. Some might say the only good team they played is Bama, which is kind of correct because their schedule isn't that tough this year. Some of the teams you thought would be good, maybe Florida or some of those other teams, they're just not good. So the stats don't mean as much. So with that saying that, there's some things that Michigan can do to maybe have better luck against them. You know what I'm saying? Now, Michigan, of course, we want to run the ball. So you would say that's strength versus strength. Now, with that being said, there's things you can do that are an extension of the running game, like the little swing passes to Donovan Edwards, the little wide receiver screens, and things like that. So you can do those things to help the running game because the beginning of the game, that's when the run defenses usually get you, and then you wear on them. You wear on them with Haskins. You constantly wear on them with Haskins and Corum, and then usually it breaks open later on in the game. But earlier, to help in the running game, that's where you get your swing passes, your screens, your reverses, your jet sweeps. That's how you can manufacture a running game early when they're just locked in on the middle, us trying to run up the middle and things like that. Now, also a thing that can maybe get them out of sorts. They've got the big D tackle, Jordan Davis, number 99. This dude is huge. He's 6'6", 340. So he's a big boy. He's a grown man. No, literally, he's a grown man. He's like 26. He's an actual grown man. So this dude's like 26. Now he's a beast in the run. But the problem with that, his problem is somewhat of what they want to take him out on passing downs because he's not really a good pass rusher. So if you go up tempo, if you run tempo and don't let don't sub guys out, he can't get out of the game. So Bama did that to him, and some of the passing downs, I was rewatching that game, and some of the passing downs, they wouldn't let him sub out, and he was just like, I'm dead. He wasn't even trying. Like he was just standing there. Like, all right, I'm done. Like, so that's something we can do also to make them have to deal with it. That you want to have big dog on the field. Well, okay, we're going to go tempo. Now he can't get off the field. So that's another thing. Also, Georgia they don't have great pass rushers like we do. They don't have, I mean, who does, but they don't really have a great pass rush. They kind of have to blitz to get to the quarterback. So if they have to blitz to get to the quarterback, what that means is they're taking guys out of the secondary. So with that being said, their secondary is also young, so they can make mistakes. Like Georgia really hasn't been put to the fire and to the test like that. And when a team hasn't been put to the test like that, you almost don't know how they'll react. So you could say last week, Bama just did what Bama does, but Georgia haven't even been in close games. So like, let's say you say Michigan. Michigan's been in close games. Nebraska, Michigan State, Penn State, Rutgers was kind of close. So Michigan is kind of battle tested. So if things aren't really going right, they kind of stay the course. They're like, okay, we know what we can do. You know what I'm saying? So Michigan gets punched in the mouth. Usually they punch right back. It don't take them long. So they're pretty battle tested, and you got the leadership of Cade. Now, with me talking about Cade, this may be a game where Cade's going to have to make some throws. He's going to have to make some maybe big time throws. Now, we don't know, because Gaddis is, and shout out to Gaddis, who also won Assistant Coach of the Year. So shout out to him, because he's been scheming up good plays all year. So it's going to be interesting to see if he throws a flea flicker, a double reverse, a double reverse pass, or something like that. And Georgia's defense has to worry about like that swing pass to the double pass with Edwards. So we're going to still run that swing pass. They're going to have to worry about that. Okay, is he going to throw it or not? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So hopefully he's going to scheme some of that up. But Cade's still going to have to make some big time throws in this game and hopefully be reading the field. But I got faith in Gaddis that he's going to call a pretty good game, because he's been good about it. Now, the other thing is field position. Georgia overall, and I'll talk about this when I go over their offense versus our defense. Georgia plays like a Big Ten team. Kirby Smart came under Nick Saban. Nick Saban used to coach in the Big Ten, so coaches that came up under him have that kind of Big Ten mindset, if that makes sense to you. So Georgia plays like an old school Big Ten team, like we do. So they want to run the ball and trust their defense, like Iowa, field position game. So with that, us talking about that, it's imperative that we win the field position battle early, and not even only early, all games. So even if we're not scoring touchdowns all the time or most of the time, we need to get a first down or two. And if we have to punt, we can still give them bad field position. Because during playing Iowa was just outmanned. So it didn't matter that we were losing the field position battle, because they just couldn't score. But Georgia may be able to scheme up some things, and they've got better talent. So they should be able to do something. But so we don't want to be pinned at the 3 like a lot of the game against Iowa, we were pinned on our own like 5. For some reason, AJ Henning kept catching the ball and not letting it go when it's in the 5. And he's catching it on the 3-yard line, the 5-yard line. Like, bro, let that drop and see if it goes in the end zone. There's no need for you to catch it. Normally, if it's the 10, you let it go. But he was catching it. So it's imperative that we get some first downs regardless, just so we don't end up in those positions and they're winning the field position battle. So we're getting it on the 3 and end up having to punt, and they're getting it on their 40. So they're almost in our territory when they get the ball. Now, the one thing that I will say also is Georgia playing us, just like when they played Bama, we have a lot of weapons. And they come to you, we get it to him in different ways. It's not just like, okay, just throwing back, shredding. We know he's mostly a game manager, so he's not throwing it all over the place, but Cornelius might get a reverse. Donovan Edwards might get a swing pass. We might do a flea flicker and it goes for 40 or 50 yards. Blake Corum out of the backfield, he could go 60, 70, 80 yards. Same with Donovan Edwards. He might catch a pass and take it 60. Roman Wilson might just beat you deep or on a jet sweep. AJ Henning on a jet sweep. Things like this, like just the big play capabilities are always there because we have dudes that can fly. We just don't get it to them in a conventional fashion most of the time. So that's the thing that they really have to worry about is, okay, they scored a lot. And Michigan has the most 50-yard touchdowns, 50-yard plays in college. That's a stat I heard from you know who. See it? I'm fair. But I heard him say that. So hopefully that stat was true. And if I didn't, I got it from you know who. So, yeah. If that's a true stat, and I don't doubt it because we've had a lot of big plays. It's just they're not the conventional way. There's not just Cade just dropping back, bombing it deep. Now that does happen, but you also just get it in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So that's something else they have to worry about is just the amount of weapons that Michigan has. From Antrell Anthony, Cornelius, Roman Wilson, AJ Henning, Mike Sainristil. All these dudes can fly. Corum, and Donovan Edwards. They can all fly. Then you got JJ coming in, and JJ can fly or throw a pass. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot to deal with in an unconventional fashion. It's not just like, okay, they're just bombing it deep. So that's the thing. And honestly, I think we can do a lot of good things on them. Like they don't really scare me that much. Honestly, they don't. And when I talk about when I get into their offense against our defense, I'll explain more. But honestly, I got a lot of faith in our offense to be able to move the ball on them. It may be a grind at first because sometimes that's just how it goes. Now, the thing that just like I said against Iowa, we need to get up early to make them on offense, to make Georgia on offense go against have to pass, and then you deal with Aiden Ojabo. Now, I'm going to get into that in the other video, but that's the reason we need to get up early to make them change what they want to do on offense. So it's imperative to get up early because if you don't, and this could be this game could be a Big Ten grinded out type of game. Like, honestly, it could be like that if we don't get it. If we're not clicking. Because they play the same kind of game. So like the Iowa game, let's say our offense, we weren't scheming up all these plays on offense. You know, we just out-talented them and schemed them. But you know, one of those old school Big Ten grinded out 13-10 or 17-20, something like that, you know. So it's imperative to get up early on these dudes and make them have to go against our strength. really have to go against our strength, which is Aiden and Ojabo. But I got faith. I really do have faith in what we can do with all these weapons, and Cade being the game manager, or even exposing their secondary somewhat, because they lost a lot of talent last year, and they just haven't went up against teams that could expose their secondary. So that's why I feel like we can do something with that. And, you know, of course, Hassan running like a man amongst boys and stuff like that. And with the up tempo, you get them off course and tired where they can't switch dudes out, and now they're fatigued up front. So I got a lot of faith in them, in what we can do on offense against their defense. Now, I'm not saying their defense is slouches at all. So don't nobody say that. But yeah, I see some weaknesses and things that we can exploit just with how much talent we have. Because I know people think we don't have explosive plays and things like that. Like Michigan is just we're just handing it off, and somehow we end up winning 40-3, or, you know, blowing teams out, just handing it off. No, Michigan is doing a lot of different things. But we will run that rock down your throat. You better be able to stop it. But we do a lot of things off of that. So I'm just seeing the weapons and what we do going against what they do, and them just stopping the run, even if they can slow it down some, that don't mean they can just dominate us, because we've got so many weapons besides Hassan, that even our running backs, we use them in the passing game, which becomes kind of an extension of the running game with swing passes and things like that. So that's all I got for this one, y'all. I ain't gonna do no prediction and stuff like that. You know that ain't really me. I'm just analysis. I appreciate everybody that watches and been subscribing. And, you know, I enjoy this, and I hope y'all enjoying this ride, y'all, because this is just, it's awesome what's going on right now. And Michigan being on the national stage, and, you know, it just feels good. You know what I'm saying? Like, to everybody, even though I talk about Steve or whatever, it's all love at the end. He did make me mad, but it's all love, because if you got some love for Michigan, you feeling good right now. You feeling good right now because you see what's on board and what could happen. And let me touch on one more thing. Somebody was saying about I did a live and was talking about I wanted Bama to lose, to not be in the playoff. And they were like, well, you technically, I could say you're not a real fan, because let me tell you something about me in Michigan right now. I don't want to beat the best. I just want the ring. We ain't been a champion since '97. I don't care about beating Bama. If we would have had to play Notre Dame and Cincinnati, I would have been happy. Oklahoma State or Georgia, I would have been happy. Now, I got faith we can play anybody after what we did to Ohio State and beat anybody. But I don't care about us going through the best team. That means nothing to me. If we could get a championship playing Akron, I'd be happy. Oh well, I know we're finna win and get this ring this year. Some people are like that though. They wanna. Well, I want to go through the best. I want to go through Bama, the best team of the decade. I ain't like that. We ain't been winning in so long. I ain't like that. I don't want to have to go through them, but oh well, they in our way. So, okay, so be it. We gonna have to go through them. But if we could have avoided them, I would have been even happier. But oh well, we got to go through them. The better team you play, the bigger chance you have to lose. I'd rather have no chance to lose. Like, this team just can't play with us. So yeah, y'all say stuff and it just don't make sense to me. Now, some people want to go through the best, but it ain't too many teams that say they want Bama. Only few teams I can remember that's actually said that. Clemson, Clemson after they lost the year before to Bama, they said they wanted Bama, and they came the next year. They beat them. But other than that, it ain't too many teams that say that. I know Ohio State fans are gonna say they wanted them that year they beat them, but it's here nor there. But yeah, I'm confident that we can play with anybody. We just took down Ohio State, the number one offense. I ain't scared of nobody. But if I don't have to play the better team, of course I want the ring. I don't care about we beat the best. No, I just want to beat who's in my way. And if it's a lesser team, I'm even happier. That's more secure on us getting the ring. I don't care about beating the best. I just want to be a champion, a national champion again. I don't care about beating the best. I just want to get that ring again. But Bama end up making it, so we got to go through them. Georgia, we got to play Georgia and Bama. So if we do win, can't nobody say nothing. We went through the two best teams and one of the other best in Ohio State. But if I could have avoided Bama, of course I would want to. But oh well, they on the record now, so they going to get it too. We get through Georgia, Bama get it too. If they beat Cincinnati, it's not guaranteed, but they probably going to stomp them. So, But that's just me. I ain't had a ring, and we ain't won the championship in so long. I don't care who we have to go through. But of course, I wouldn't want a even better team in the playoff. Who wants Bama in the playoff and they have to go against them? I almost want to be guaranteed we finna win. I want that ring. I don't care about proving something that we done took down them. I don't want them in, but they made it in, so we got to deal with them. So be it. But they got to deal with us. So I just had to rant on that because somebody was trying to misconstrue my words to try to make a point for what I said about Steve and stuff. And I just had to touch on it. But that's how I feel. And I've said this 1,000 times. I tell people how I feel. It don't matter to me. So I want to go through the best. Well, if I can avoid the best and still win a championship, I'm fine with that. That's just me. We ain't won in so long. I ain't got to go through them. If I don't, but we got to go through them, so be it. So be it. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Appreciate my boy Ryan Monk, man. Enjoy your birthday, bro. Enjoy it, man. You a good dude, and I love you, bro. I love you, man. But that's pretty much all I got for this one, y'all. Don't forget to check out his website if you're in that mid-Michigan area. It's going to be in this description. And like, share, subscribe. And as always, go blue.